I can't keep quiet anymore. I've just got to say my piece in regards to what's going on in the world today, and this includes things coming out of Donald Trump's mouth. This includes Syrian refugees, ISIS, Russia getting caught doping their athletes in the Olympics and possibly being banned from this year's. First of all, I'd like to start with just simply saying, come on, people. Everybody knows what's going on with Donald Trump. The guy is a bully. Everybody knows that he goes over to the Middle East and makes best friends with all of those people. He opens up hotels in Dubai and talks about how great Muslims are and how they want to be partners and business buddies forever. And then he comes right back to America and talks about how you can't trust them and they're murderers and thieves and they should be banned from coming into this country. That is what it is. That's a bully. That's a perfect example of a guy who's grown up getting away with whatever he wants to, and he's meticulous with his words, and his acumen is just spot on. So because of that, he easily manipulates people. And he's manipulated his way into this running for presidency. But all in all, he's just a bully. And what I mean by that, every time I keep saying bully, you might be thinking a bully. Well, he's a bully. The thing is, he's our bully. That's right, he's our bully. And that means that Americans think that he will protect them by bullying the people that we have, rights to be afraid of. So, if we put this bully in office, he will possibly bully his way out of the trouble that we're in. So, that's what I have to say about Donald Trump. Does he have a chance being president? No. No. Bernie Sanders is a better chance being president of the United States than Donald Trump does. Just his last name says it all. He's a Trump card. He doesn't even care. This is just incredible publicity. Can you imagine how much money this man is making right now off of all of this? Do you have any idea how many hotels he's opening up in the Middle East right now? If anything, he's telling us that he wants to kick Muslims out because that's exactly what they told him to say. Make sense? The Muslims want him to say that so that they won't come here and they'll stay in their own. Isn't that what ISIS wants? Anyway, let's push Trump to the side. Now, let's talk about Syrian refugees a little bit. If I was president, I would look at this as, yeah, this is a situation where terrorists can sneak in. Come on, people. If anything, the terrorists are too smart to sneak in during this time. They know how deep the checks are going to be. They're actually going to use this as a diversion and sneak in across the border in Mexico, where it's a whole lot easier. I actually lived next to some people that were from the Middle East, and I thought they were a Hispanic family the whole time they lived next to me. That's what's funny. They actually learned how to speak Spanish and were wearing Western clothes and dressing and talking in that manner, even though they were from the Middle East. They pretty much spot off came across as Latino. And he had told me that a lot of them are doing that, and it keeps them from being ridiculed and prejudiced against. But it's also a great way for a terrorist to sneak into the country, if you think about it. Anyway, so when it comes to the Syrian refugees, yes, we need to be careful. Yes, we need to be strict. But no, we don't need to be denying them the ability to come to the United States of America. You know what I mean? It's like gun control. How ridiculous is this? Anyone who thinks that by taking away a person's guns, whatever kind of gun it is, who cares? You're not going to solve any problems by taking those guns away. That's like saying, let's make alcohol illegal. Let's take alcohol away from people. Then we won't have DWIs. Let's take marijuana away from people. Let's take cocaine away. Let's take ecstasy away. Let's take this and let's take that. And it makes it all go away, right? No, it definitely doesn't make it go away. So in other words, what I'm saying is take guns away and you'll probably end up having some of the most dangerous handheld weapons that will be designed specifically for the purpose of killing human beings, and they will be made on the streets and bought underground. That's what will happen if you make guns illegal. They will end up being some of the craziest shit you have ever seen in your entire life. There will be guns made out of porcelain, plastic, rubber. There will be everything your imagination can think of. And trust me, the NRA is doing a good thing. The NRA is protecting us, yes. And they're annoying and they're over the top and all that stuff. They're actually a lot like Trump, you know, but even though they may not agree with the same things, they're closer to Bernie Sanders in their beliefs. But what I'm getting at is that the NRA actually does protect us whether you think they do or not. And making sure that we have guns is one thing that they do, but something that they do that they may not even know they're doing. This is something I came up with. And that is, they're actually preventing the wrong type of guns from hitting the scene. And what I mean by that is they're making sure that Smith & Wesson, Browning, Glock, Remington, Marlin, they're making sure all of these companies, Kimber, well, I got to stop. I'll just keep naming gun companies. They'll make sure that these companies are the ones making the guns. And they'll also make sure that Johnny Potluck out in the forest, who's tired of making moonshine all the time, is going to start making guns and sell them on the street, you know? They prevent all that from happening. All the rules and regulations, allowing it to be legal, allows them to control it. It's kind of like cars and things like that. You know, allowing us to drive cars is a necessity. That way the government can control it and they can tax it, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, tax the shit out of guns. Tax the hell out of bullets. Chris Rock said it a long time ago in some stand-up, which is, you want to make gun problems go away? Charge a buttload for the ammunition. And that's exactly what's happening right now. For people who shoot all the time, they're realizing that it's a waste of money to just go out into the woods and start popping off rounds. You know what I mean? It's a waste of money. So they don't do that very much anymore. All they're doing now is freaking stockpiling it all. Anyone that stockpiles that stuff is kind of weird too, I admit. Now, you know, I got grandparents and uncles and stuff that did that, but this tech stuff today, that's kind of weird. All right, let's get out of that. What's that joke that everybody's been saying about George Lucas? He would say he would walk onto the set and walk up to somebody and go, "You're going to get me a Diet Coke." And they'd go, "Huh?" And then he'd look at him again and go, "You are going to get me that Diet Coke. You are going to get me that Coke." Anyway, so that's a couple of things. I'll be back later with more.